Okay. Our final speaker for the afternoon session is Lisa Tomkins. Lisa is undertaking her final year at the Faculty of Vet Science at the University of Sydney, and her project is aiming to identify predictors of success in the guide dog program using a combination of temperament, lateralisation and kennel behaviour assessments. And today she's going to be talking to us about the sensory jump test, a measure of sensory laterality in dogs. Welcome.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. As Sam just mentioned, my PhD project is endeavouring to establish methods of determining the suitability of dogs for guiding work at the earliest possible age. But today I'll just be talking about one part of my PhD project, which is the sensory jump test. Guide dogs play a vital role in our society by providing independent mobility to people with vision impairment. However, this service does come at a high cost. Guide Dogs New South Wales ACT estimate that it costs around $28,000 to train a successful guide dog. Therefore, identifying early methods of the suitability of dogs for guiding work is of benefit not only to reduce the cost of production, but also to allow unsuitable animals that aren't coping with the training environment and also their kennelling environment to be rehomed at an earlier stage. Now, to do this, I'm assessing the usefulness of 11 different tests, which you can see up on the screen, and these can broadly be categorised into three groups, which are temperament, lateralisation and kennel behaviour tests. And as I mentioned a bit before, that today I'll be talking about one of these laterality tests, which is the sensory jump test. Now, lateralisation refers to the specialised functions of the left and right cerebral hemispheres. These specialised functions involve control of motor preferences, so the preferential use of one paw over another to perform a task. As you can see in the picture, Victoria is using her right paw to hold down a Kong. And also the preferential processing of perceptual stimuli, so using one eye to detect perhaps a predator over the other. Lateralisation occurs at an individual level, but can also occur at a population level if the majority of individuals within a population show the same directional bias, either to the left or the right. So if we take human-handedness for an example, can I just get a show of hands who here is right-handed? Just stick up. Have a look around. There you go. Individually, you're right-handed, but the majority of we can say that there's a right population bias for handedness in humans. Now, you might wonder why I am looking at laterality. Well, links between behavioural tendencies and lateralisation have been reported, where right preferent animals tend to approach novel situations and environments much more frequently than those that are left preferent, and they tend to be a bit more cautious. In dogs, a study by Nick Branson and Leslie Rogers actually showed that the absence of a significant paw preference was associated with noise phobias. Now, given the suitability of working dogs is largely dependent on their behavioural tendencies, we hope that the lateralisation tests will also prove to be a predictor of working dog suitability. Only a limited amount of literature is available on sensory lateralisation, and to date, this is one of the first studies to assess visual laterality in the dog. Guiding the visually impaired demands precise and accurate movements by the dog, and as such, visual perception by the dog is paramount. Any visual biases to the left or the right may therefore affect the suitability of these dogs for guiding work. If we have a look at the picture up on the screen of Jenny and JJ, JJ being the guide dog, you can see that he's working to the left of Jenny. Given guide dogs are typically trained to work to the left of their handler, vision in their right eye is often partially obscured by their handler's leg. This may affect the ability of the dog to work if it is particularly reliant on this field of vision and contralateral or opposite brain hemisphere that's responsible for processing these visions. The aim of this study was to firstly develop a sensory jump test using different ocular treatments to measure visual biases in the dog, and secondly to determine whether these visual biases or any other jump parameters could be used as potential predictors of guide dog success. Given analysing spatial information has typically been reported to be perceived by the animal's left side in species such as rodents and in birds, it was hypothesised that left visually preferent animals would show jump kinematics similar to those observed in binocular or normal vision dogs. And secondly, that these left visually preferent dogs would be more successful in the guide dog program. Sensory lateralisation was assessed in 74 potential guide dogs using modified head halters to create 3 different ocular treatments, which you can see Zita's demonstrating for us here. These were binocular, right monocular and left monocular vision. Dogs were required to complete 10 jumps for each of the different ocular treatments, and this made up a jump set. And each of the 74 dogs were required to complete a jump set for each of the 3 different ocular treatments, which meant there was an awful lot of jumping happening. Luckily, I wasn't the one having to jump. I should also mention that the order in which these ocular treatments were applied to the dogs were completely randomised to remove any biases caused by the order. There were a number of different measurements recorded in the sensory jump test, but I'll just point out a few of the ones that I'll be discussing today. That's it better. The first of these is the approach distance, which is basically the distance between, between the jump and the launching forepaw of the dog, and basically the launching forepaw was the last forepaw used by the dog to launch up over the jump. So it could be either the left or the right. That was another measurement that was recorded. And also the clearance height of the forepaws, hindpaws and the lowest body part to clear the jump. So that could have been the chest, the chin, the stifle. And basically that was recorded as the distance between the jump bar and the part of the body that was clearing the jump. Both the approach distance and clearance heights were measured using a customised light grid which could measure distance to the nearest centimetre. The third measurement that I'll be talking about today was how successful the jump was. So basically that was just whether or not the jump bar was still up at the completion of each of the jumps the dogs participated in. Eye preference was then determined based on each of the jump parameters. A comparison between eye preference and paw preference was then made before determining whether any of these could be used as potential predictors of guide dog success. Now what I've got here is a quick video for you just so you can see. Oh, we haven't had great success with that today. So basically, yeah, just a quick video. It will be a series of 4 jumps, 1 jump from each of the 3 different ocular treatments, and then a 4th one from a different angle, just so you can see how the test works. And you can see here, this is where the light grid where the approach distance was measured, and up here is where the clearance height was measured. Okay, let's give it a try. Yeah. So the first that you just saw there was with binocular vision, then we've got right monocular with the left eye patch, and then left monocular vision, and quickly from the front. So that's basically how the jump test was conducted.